Picture this. It's the dawn of 2024 and you're poised for success. Why? Because you've established your why. This isn't just a whim or a hobby. It's the passion that propels you forward, the core of your ambition. Next, you assess your current position. Where do you stand? What are your strengths, your weaknesses? Honesty is key here. Now, envisage your destination. What do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Set those goals. Make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. With your destination locked, it's time to map out your plan. Break down your goals into manageable steps, then start stepping. Remember, action without reflection is aimless. Record your results, analyze your performance, and adjust your plan accordingly. The path to success in 2024 isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Take meaningful action, keep your eye on the prize, and continually strive for improvement. Here's to a successful 2024.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning again. Welcome to all of you that are here on this early Thursday morning. Today we have Willem Lombard and Daniel with us. And what we're going to be talking about is something very, very different. You know, what we do generally when we put together a strategy and we put together our vision for our, where we want to be, is we actually kind of don't build a story around it. And one of the most important things to make sure that it's memorable, but also to motivate ourselves, is to create a story. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And what we call this is Stratetainment. It's a strange word. If you go along and try and spell it, it will say it's an incorrect spelling, so it's a made-up word. But the whole idea is to build a narrative for yourself that is a blend of strategy and entertainment that basically reshapes where you want to go in your life. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking to Willem, and Willem does very specific vision boarding exercises, and we're going to ask him to tell us a little bit about that and how you can actually create a narrative from that. And then we're going to be talking to Daniel. Now, Daniel has actually created something that's on digital. So one's actually on paper and clippings, and the other one is on digital. Now some of you might be familiar with the normal way of doing it, where you go along and you cut out magazines and you create your vision boarding. And some of you who are more apt on the computer would like to do something like a video or to create digital backgrounds with yourself. So this is a very exciting day today that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking to these two experts. But before we start, I'd like Willem just to introduce himself and tell us who he is and what he does. Over to you, Willem.
Good morning, David and Daniel and everybody that's listening in. Thank you for this opportunity. Yes, my name is Willem Lombard. I'm a life energy coach, and I focus more on performance. I help people to perform better in every facet of their life, personally, interpersonally, and professionally. So that's what I do. Energy is everything. And if you have energy in your story, yes, it will help. It will entice other people to go with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Willem. Daniel, please introduce yourself.
So I just want to welcome everyone. And today's going to be a powerful session because this is the strategy that I've used for a long time. What is my secret weapon after dropping out of high school and people saying you can't make it? So I'm a visionary inventor, and I travel whenever God allows me, and I just help people in terms of creative coaching, which is actually a passion of mine and a good cash flow business to have if you get it right.
Fantastic. Welcome, Daniel. Well, today's going to really be a powerful session. So, one of the things that I found so important, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit of a story before we start. Now, as you can see from my grayness, in 86, I finished university, and then I started working in the construction industry. And at that time, there was a guy there in Rosebank, Johannesburg, who was offering a goal-setting course. And anyway, so goal-setting was something I hadn't heard about at varsity. So I went and did this course, and I remember it was a 6-week course. And at that time, it cost me 6,000 Rand. So it was a lot of money. It was basically nearly a month and a half salary for me. But I went in and invested in myself, and went through this huge exercise where we had to fill in the book. I've still got the book, actually, and we had to fill in this book and so on. And basically, essentially, at the end of this whole course, we had to identify 3 things that we wanted to achieve. And my 3 things were, I wanted to go and work overseas. Now, at the time, those of you that are similar age to me, you'll remember that all our compatriots, colleagues, and friends were all going overseas to do tiki tours and all these other things that they were doing. And they went and worked, in Europe and England and so on. And I hadn't done that. So I really wanted to do that. The next thing I wanted to do was actually to live on an island. It was it's like passion. I wanted to go and live on an island, palm trees, beaches, all that type of thing. And then because I was in the building industry, I wanted to do something great, something very different and something very out of the box type stuff. And I thought, also that was career related. So anyway, this is what I identified, and I wrote it down, and I said, that's my goal. So go and live overseas, live on an island, and work on something great, something different. And I put that aside, and I carried on working at Marion Roberts. I was in the tendering department, and then I went onto the sites, and I worked there. And time just went past. And then one day, I finished the contract that I was on, and then one day there was my boss. He called me into the office, and he said to me, David, would you like to go to Mauritius and work there? And I heard, go and work somewhere else. I said, yes. I didn't know where Mauritius was. It was like, huh? In those days we didn't have mobile phones and that, and I had to go home and, go look at an atlas and say, where's Mauritius? I found it was an island. So what happened was I went to Mauritius. I went and lived there for 4.5 years. And I was the project manager on the first high-rise building to be built in Port Louis. So my goal was set, and I achieved it. Now, some of you say, okay, that's a secret, etc. But this is the power of goal setting and putting together a story. And my story was, I want to go overseas. I want to go along and work on something great. And I want to live on an island. And I achieved it, and it was powerful. So now, today, what we don't have goal setting courses, but we have other things that are available for us. And I'm going to start with Wilhelm and ask Wilhelm what he does in order to help you achieve your dream like I achieved mine. Over to you, Wilhelm.
Thank you, David. Yes, we sit in times where there's lots of uncertainty. It's also true that people got the resistance sometimes to change. They are just in their uncomfortable comfort zone, and because of those things, people get stuck and they don't move forward. They don't see the vision. They don't see some better picture for themselves. And it can easily happen with you when you sit with negative energy and it drains a lot of your energy. So what I find now, there's, as you've mentioned, there's lots of different ways that you can actually visualize and do some vision boarding. I find that with this, the ordinary old-fashioned way, there's a vision board with pictures. You cut out some pictures and you just get your vision board right. So the thing is, what makes this so special in a sense is that you page through these books not expecting anything. You just, before we get to the vision boarding itself, cutting out some pictures, there's certain things that I actually tell people what to look out for. And it's all about the different energy tanks that our bodies consist of. We got spiritual, physical, emotional, work, finance, social, mental, all those different energy tanks. And I always say, if you want a power vision board, you need to activate those energy tanks so that it is part of your vision. And then they start to page through these pages or these magazines, and they cut out pictures. And I find that there's some dynamic thing, that something that happens because the people chat, they are relaxed, and they cut out these pictures, and then they set up their vision board. That there's something in that that makes a difference. And it is as if people start to think of things that they never thought of, but because of what other people talk about and what they see, and there's a picture of this, and this is a picture of this, and what something happened. There's dynamic in there, and you see, in this way, we overcome our resistance to change, in a sense, and say, but listen, there's something, and that is the seed that you sow. And with any seed that you sow, it will always grow. You must just keep it in the soil and water it, and then it will happen. Like with you, before you know it, you were on an island, and actually your dreams came true without doing much. It just happened. And that is what a great vision do. And the story in your mind, visualizing about it, that is what happened. So that's why it's so powerful.
No, I totally agree with you. You know, one of the things, you know, people say is that things happen twice. The first time in the mind and the second time in reality. And by doing, I've actually done 2 of Wilhelm's vision boarding exercises. And I must say, it's really, really powerful, because what you're doing is you're starting to visualize what you actually want to achieve. And that's kind of sticks into your mind. You know, once you've actually done the vision boarding exercise, you actually kind of, okay, that's something, and then you actually visualize it. And you know, the important part, obviously, once you've created that, is to create a story around it. And one of the things that Wilhelm talks about when he does the vision boarding exercises is for you to actually create the story, but create it with a feeling. What's it going to feel like to actually go and be on that island? You know, what's it actually going to feel like? And by doing that, you actually you embed it into yourself, and that motivates you to go forward. Wilhelm, thank you. What I want to now ask is Daniel. Now, Daniel does a different thing. What he does is he uses the digital realm, where, you know, we've got AI, and we've got videos, and we've got digital images, etc. So Daniel does it from a different point of view, and I'd like Daniel to explain what he does in order to help you to create your narrative. Over to you, Daniel.
Yeah, so first of all, just to, if I can go back, I was one of those people, still till today, there's certain systems I do not like, I do not conform to, and I had to have a vision. In order for a guy like me to survive, you know, being neurodiverse and being different and being in the creative field, I had to find a way to program myself that this is your vision and this is what you're going to achieve. And the best tool that I found is, you know, you get mid-journey, but it's complicated, and the average person would struggle to learn how to use it. And then there's a few other apps, you know, where you can literally just program it. I found those all, you know, costly. And what I decided to do was rather use Canva, because Canva, I mean, in terms of, I think dollars, it's about $5 US, and or $5.50 somewhere there. And you could literally, there's a, you know, Canva's working with a whole bunch of other apps at the moment, and I used the app called Magic. It's attached to Canva, and what I started to do was literally tell it what images to make. So, for example, my vision is off-grid development on a mountain by the coast. So you can imagine, to try and find a picture off the internet of that happening with the runway, it seems impossible. So what I did is I started getting AI to generate images for me. And then I started to say, hey, I want a guy, you know, standing by the beach, palm trees, sunset, very specific, because I literally looked at all the things I wanted in the future, and I said, AI is going to generate it for me. Then what I did is I ran it through an app called CapCut, and it basically would be an AI voiceover, which it's very cute. It sounds like this little girl that's talking. She's got an adorable voice, and I put some motivational music behind it. And literally, it's a 3.5 minute video that I listen to sometimes on it every day, and it literally runs the pictures, and it says, Daniel, this is what you will achieve, and then it runs through everything, the inventions, the businesses, the character I want. So I like when we did that talk, I told you guys I am trained now through this video that I watch every day, and as I achieve a task or a vision or a dream, I then tick that off. I put a little star on it, and I move on to the next one. So now what's quite nice is, where I sleep, I've got my vision board, and there must be about 50 or 60 different pictures of all the things that I want to achieve. I've got it on my phone. I've got it on Zoom. So whenever anyone's talking to me in business meetings, they're seeing it. I've got it on my social media. So when you look on my social media, you'll always see pictures of like high-rise buildings, some overlooking the ocean. So I'm very set in what I do. So I've programmed myself in such a way that I know what my character is, I know what my vision is, I know what my dreams is, that when anyone speaks against anything that doesn't resonate with me, it doesn't mean anything to me, because I know exactly who I am, I know exactly where I'm going, and I know exactly how I'm going to get there. So I'm programmed, and this is the thing that I'm trying to explain to people is, once you program yourself to have a vision, and you are unique, and you've got your vision board, you've got your vision board video, I mean, you are going places. It doesn't matter what anyone says, because have they programmed that vision into you? No, they're just going to offer you an opinion. So no, you have your vision planned out, you have your goals, and you say there, what are you going to have to do? Well, you're going to have to wake up every morning early. You have to list the type of characteristic traits you're going to have in order to get there. So I've listed those, and every single day, whether it be in the morning or before I go to bed, I have an action plan. So I literally say there, I write all the things I'm thankful for. I write all the things that I'm going to do for the day. I write the tasks that I'm going to do. And then at night, there's accountability. What have I done? Then I write my characteristic traits. And then I write in the future what I see. So like I will say there, I see all the different businesses, the different developments, how I'm going to be with my family. So I literally write it as well. And I am so trained at this that I just can't help it. This is what I'm going to achieve. So it's like I know every day what I'm going to do. So I've become like a machine that's just programmed. That's how I've done it.
Sure. I love what you just said. You know what you're going to do. You programmed yourself. And I think that's the power of either doing the vision board or doing the vision video, as Daniel's just explained. And it's so important to do that. A lot of us go through our daily lives and we just repeat year on year. Next year's going to be the same as this year, and the year before that was the same, and so on. And, as I've learned in my life, time goes so quickly that you've got to enjoy your life, and you've got to really, every single day must be a new day for you. And the only way you're going to achieve that is to actually do this, to put a vision board together, or to put a digital video together, and so on. But, we're talking about ourselves here and how we can actually ensure, with Vision 2024, it's all about, we want to actually improve this year for you, provide you with the tools and the know-how to do it better. And also so that you don't repeat last year again, or the year before, or the year before that, and have a different year this year, a successful year. And obviously, last week we spoke about all the issues that are happening around us, and the chaos that's happening. And last night I was on a webinar with the CEO Business Club, and one of the things they spoke about was, from the chaos comes the practice. And with us, with our lives, we need to actually ensure that we start understanding how to actually get through that chaos in order to create a good life for ourselves. Now, I want to just take this to another step. Obviously, all of us are in business. We might be a manager of teams. We might be a business owner. And the question that I have is, how do you use the vision boarding or the digital vision video to actually improve your business or your team or the people that you're managing, etc. So I'm going to ask Wilhelm. Wilhelm does this for organizations. He's actually recently, I think last week, he was busy with a company doing exactly this. So Wilhelm, would you give us some ideas how you can use the vision boarding exercise to create a unified team in order to achieve not only the company's goals, but the individual goals at the same time? Over to you, Wilhelm.
Thank you, David. Yes, it is one thing to have your own vision as a manager or a CEO of your company, but it drains a lot of energy if your time or if your team is not really with you. Then it's an effort, then it's hard work, and you just get nowhere. Now, I often nowadays especially get some people companies that tell me that they really battle with their teams that are lacking energy. It seems as if they lost their oomph. They are not in it anymore. A couple of years back they were really focused, but now they are just going through the motions, and it's really difficult for them. So it's so important to realize that in this story you have certain characters, and your team are the characters, and you need them to play along, to be part of the story, because we always, it's not just our story, it's with them. When you go alone, it's very difficult, but when you are together, it can be very powerful. So to get the alignment, and it's so important that, of course, you first get to know what your vision is, and then with this vision boarding exercise with your team, it's very powerful to overcome that resistance to change, to get them, because each and every person got their own vision, but they must align it with your vision as the business owner. And they must realize that they can actually achieve their own goals by being part of this team and achieving the goals or the vision of the company itself. And, if there's a misalignment, it drains a lot of energy, as I've mentioned, because then people are frustrated, they are confused, they are disengaged. And I think that's a big problem nowadays, where your team is just disengaged. They are not with you. They just go through the motions, do as little as possible. So it's very important to get that collaboration, to see the bigger picture. And with a vision alignment exercise, we do that. Same thing, build your own vision board, but align it with what this company is standing for. And I can tell you, it is as if there's a 10x in your business. Suddenly, it is just much easier. People are doing this, what you want them to do, and they do it because they want to. There's energy. You unlock the energy in the group. So it's very, very important to get the characters, to get a team, to align your vision with them and them with yours, and everything happens. It's just like that. Thanks, David.
Thank you so much. Great. What Wilhelm did, there was a company called, well, there is a company called Delitzo, and a little while ago, Wilhelm went and he did this whole exercise with that company, and it was absolutely amazing what's actually happened with Delitzo. It's gone from strength to strength because of the fact that they've got a vision, a combined vision, and they understand where the owner wants to go. And I'm going to say, I take my hat to you, Wilhelm, because you've really actually taken the company to another level. Daniel, would you like to explain a little bit about how your vision boarding or your digital vision boarding exercise can actually help companies? Over to you.
So first of all, you get, from what we understand, is there's 4 types of people. I literally just break it down into 2, where you get analytical and creative. So I can speak for the creative people. The analytical people go according to systems, rules, regulations, and that's fine, and tasks. Whereas the right brainer, like me, the creators, we've got to see the vision of something. And once we understand the vision, the penny drops for us. So, for example, I hate being in a team where I'm not included, where I'm not involved. I hate being the one that gets, told what to do. No, I want to be in the vision section. So that means tell me what the vision is. And then I go out and I do everything in my power to build around the vision. So, for example, if there's an event, I love getting behind the organizing of sending the invites out, creating the video, getting the script out there. So if there's a company that wants a guy like me to help them with the vision, then you gotta sell me that vision. You gotta be able to sit there and sell me that vision. And once I'm sold on the vision, then I'm able to use every tool, I'm able to use every skill, and I'm able to help towards that vision. I'm also a great recruiter. So what will I do? I'll go and get other people that I know can help with this vision. So if a company is going to put me on a system, but I don't understand what the vision is, I don't get it, I don't see it, then I'm going to be what they call a C player. So if you want me to be an A player, then you've got to be able to explain it to me. And the problem I've got is you've got leaders and you've got bosses. Now the bosses tell everybody what to do and they dictate. And that basically, for me, I always call that a slave driver. Whereas the leader who can say, hey guys, listen, we're going to work together for a common goal. This is the vision. This is how it looks. Everyone's going to get these types of salaries. Everyone's going to get these types of promotions. So let's all work together. Once I see it, I'm sold. And if more people can just, think on that level where, hey, you got different types of people here. What are their personalities? What are their strengths? I'm going for it. So, for example, when it comes to my own vision, I had to create it, and it was a tough task because it was personal to me. But then I needed people around me that could help me with the tools, and they would have to see my weaknesses and say, all right, Dan, this is where you're going to struggle if you don't overcome this. And that's really, for me, it's everything. Like, I'm just going to go to what the Bible says. The Old Testament, God is talking to his people, and he's talking about, without knowledge, the people perished. And he's talking about, King Solomon talks about, he says, without a vision, the people perish. So the thing is, vision is so important. And another thing in Habakkuk, it talks about write down the vision on tablets, write it down. So this is a biblical principle that you must understand the vision. What are you working towards? What's going to keep the people together? What's going to keep them happy? It's the vision. When David had a vision to build the temple and he couldn't do it because he had blood on his hands, he told David how to do it. He assisted David with the gold, with the silver, with the plans, told him where to get the wood and everything. So it's all about a vision. And what is the vision for this country, South Africa, going forward? Well, everyone's going to vote for what the politicians have made them believe about the vision. So yes, the vision is the most important thing. And if a company gets this right, and you can help the team members understand this, I'm telling you now, you're going to build an incredible empire with very loyal people.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, there's a company called Band Studios, and what they've got a video where they basically, in the video, they're talking about the high life. This gentleman's got a Ferrari and he goes to Spain and he does a whole lot of things. He goes skiing, snow skiing and body skiing and a whole lot of different things. And what he does, every time he actually does a presentation, he shows this, okay? And that's the picture that he portrays. And that's what he's aiming for and what he inspires other people to do. Now, within your own business, you can do exactly the same. You can create that story, encapsulate it within a video. And this is one of the things that I do with Google Blast, is actually encapsulate a story within a Google Blaster, which is a very short video, and we actually then put it onto Google to capture that story that you are trying to project out there, that vision that you want to create, not only for yourself, but for your customers and so on. So, you can either do it by, as Wilhelm's way, where he sits down with you and he sits down with the team and he goes through this, or with Daniel's way. And these are very, very powerful tools to use, not only within yourself, but also within your business. So what I want to now do quickly is just go through, today what we're doing is, we normally take this for an hour, but we're actually cutting it down to 45 minutes, recognizing people have things to do. And so today we've got 15 minutes left, but over those 15 minutes, I just want to quickly go through the way that you can actually create this in your own life. So the first thing, obviously, and we're going to just go very quickly through this, is define your core narrative. Every great story begins with a core message. And the question is, what is your central theme for 2024? So this is something that, what I would suggest is you take a piece of paper and write that question down and try and understand what is your central theme for this year? What are you trying to achieve? We're already one quarter, through this year. We've got 3 quarters left. And so we don't have much time to actually achieve what we actually set out to do at the beginning of this year, if you haven't done that done that already. The next one I want to do is to ask Wilhelm to talk about, actually no, I'm going to ask Daniel to talk about it, and that is set the characters. Daniel, would you like to talk about the set the characters and how you actually achieve that through the next process?
Okay, you broke up there for a second. I just wanted to make sure I heard it. Did you say that we need to talk about the character of how to get there?
Yeah. Yes, set the characters in your strategic narrative, the characters that are your team members, and each character, what unique role they play. And how
okay, so in my own life personally, I've got many flaws, and anyone who works with me has to understand that. So they have to realize that I am an impulsive person. I do things sometimes without thinking. Now, it's my greatest liability, but somehow also my greatest asset. Why? Because I can just get things done. I can walk up to someone and I can make things happen. I can recruit. I can come up with ideas. But sometimes I don't plan. I don't think things through. So I often need the help of someone who's very analytical, who can look at everything I'm doing and they can understand, okay, this is all of Dan's weaknesses and this is where I'm going to help Dan. Without criticizing Dan, I'm going to help Dan where he's weak. The other thing that I've got is I often come up with so many ideas, but I don't think of the admin that's involved. So sometimes I would need somebody who is strong at admin. Admin is not my greatest of strengths. I even struggle in my own life because of it. I don't like to read over contracts. So sometimes I would need someone who is smarter than me, someone who can look over contracts and say, all right, in layman's terms, this is what they're saying. And then I often don't consider the cost of things. So my own son, who's 16, had a look at one of my marketing workshops. I do these AI and marketing workshops, which is really empowering. But the catering wasn't up to scratch. It was a few details where I missed out. So even my son, who's 16, who's more analytical than I am, actually he's starting to be project management. He looked at everything in his own way. And he gave me a whole list and he said, all right, Dad, this is how we need to do the thing. So he worked out the whole thing, the time, the money, and it really helped me. And then the other thing is sometimes I need motivation. Sometimes your vision is so big, it doesn't look like it's going to be real. And this is why I hang around with very few people. I can't be an everyman's person because I can't be a people pleaser if I want to build my vision. So sometimes I need someone who's very motivating, someone who's going to be able to remind me those days when I forget. So you're going to need one of those people, and every company, every person needs them. That person that comes around, it could be your mom, it could be your wife, your husband, but someone who really just gets you up when you're down. When you're sleeping in and you don't feel like it, you forget the vision. You need someone who's going to motivate you. So in my case, praise God, I've got a beautiful wife who knows when I'm not my usual self. And then she will say to me, all right, what's the problem? And I'll say to her, look, I'm very frustrated with this. And she'll start to motivate me, start to help me. And that's so important. And that's how I've broken it down. Then I've got my mentors and coaches. So the coaches are the people that carefully monitor my every movement on social media. They will watch every video that I post and they'll say, Dan, that video didn't speak. So you wasted your time doing that video. Some people will look at another video and say, it looks like you're very arrogant in this video. It's all about self, all about I. There's no team effort. You're not addressing the people. So I literally have a team of people that God has put in my life to help me to become the greatest that I can be. And then I'm in other people's lives where I'm helping them, where I see Like if Wilhelm and I were to get together, he would have so much fun with me because I would show him the digital side of it. And then because he's a lot more structured and focused, he will probably sit with me and say, all right, Dan, I see why you can't get this vision going because it's too big and this is where you need all the planning. And that's really what you got to do is find people who are better than you, who are smarter than you, shut your mouth and listen to them, take their advice. And it really does take a team to make things happen. Yes, Rome, Caesar had a vision, but he needed the army in order to fulfill whatever vision they wanted to achieve. And then, they kind of failed when they got lazy and they got complacent. So it helps to have the people that are you need the taskmasters as well. So that's just a little bit of how I would explain how to get it done, what characteristics of people you need around you. I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. No, it's very important. A lot of us, I'm not good at admin at all, so I need admin people around me. So, you get this, as you say, get the smartest people around you. I'm going to ask Wilhelm to talk about, just be mindful of the time. We've got 9 minutes left. And so I'm going to ask us to be quite brief, if that's possible. Now, Wilhelm, can you talk a little bit about creating conflict and resolution and how you achieve that through the narrative that you have? Every story has a high and every story has a low, and then it has a high again. So how does one actually build that into your story? Over to you.
Thank you, David. Yes, as you mentioned, every story have a drama. And the drama is usually the conflict or the obstacles that you sit with. And sometimes that obstacles in a company can drain a lot of energy, and people can feel, but listen, this is killing us. So one need to be able to see the drama, but to actually energize it to take to people to take action, so that they will take that drama, that conflict, that problems, the obstacles that they sit with, and say, but listen, these are challenges, and we can move forward. So you need to take it in another direction. When you communicate, you need to communicate with energy. One can communicate from out a stress situation. And the moment when you do some stress communication, you actually drain the energy of the people, and you will not move forward, and you disengage the people in the business or in your team. So that is very important to take the drama. Every story have a drama, and the drama can actually be the story, because when you overcome those obstacles and you have the conflict, and that's also a very important part of a good team. There's conflict, but there must be honest conflict, authentic conflict. You must fight it out, talk it out, and with energy to come up with great solutions. So there's some emotions involved, but just make sure when you communicate with energy and not from a stress situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. One of the things that I learned, and it was actually a surprise to me. I did a course a long time ago, and we went through this whole process. And then the guy said, "Okay, now what happens? What are you going to do if it doesn't happen? If you don't achieve your goal, what are you going to do? What are you going to plan to do?" And it was like, "But why would I need to do that?" And anyway, so I did do the exercise, and it was actually it was like, wow, okay. And I actually started to understand that if there was a negative scenario, how would I overcome that negative scenario? And I started to plan for that. And it just prepared me so much more to actually go through the exercise and understand all the constraints and understand how to overcome them. So it's a very, very good thing to do. Daniel, would you go through how do you use vivid imagery and emotions to bring your strategy back to life? Over to you.
How would I use vivid images? So just say that again.
How would you use vivid imagery and emotions to bring your strategy to life? In other words, explain how you would actually achieve that with your digital videos, etc. How do you do that?
So I'll tell you what's very powerful. And like when I meet people at networking, they tell me what career they're in. The first thing I do is say, all right, cool. You're in law. Let's go get you a nice background for that. And then what I do is I take a picture of them, remove the background, stick them behind a picture of the Lady Justice. So what I will do is I will always take an image that means something to someone. So for example, if somebody's down and out and they say, I just want to be married, let's get that picture of a person being married. If you want finances, let's get that picture of that money. So you can literally sit there and create the image, whatever image that's going to cheer that person up or give that company a vision to work towards. So let's just say my favorite thing is I have two high-rise buildings that I want, that I see in my vision board. So I would create that. And then I would show the team, guys, this is the vision. It's a black building with blue windows, with solar panels, green. When I say a green building, meaning it's energy efficient, it's going to be eco-friendly. You can have flowers or plants coming out of the building. I'd create that image and I'd say, this is the image we're going for. This is the building we want. And I think if people saw it, they would say, that very much looks like the vision we are hoping for. I hope that answered your question, but that's how I would create it. I would find that picture. I'd use my imagination. I'd create that picture for that person or that company, and I'd say, this is what we're striving for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And, you know, as Helen was saying earlier, you've got to put the emotion into whatever you want to achieve. You know, that picture, it's not just a picture. You've got to actually see how you fit into that picture and feel that emotion with that picture. You know, is it joy? What is it? And feel that. And by doing that, you actually embed it into your mind. I was actually at an event some time ago, and one of the gentlemen, had my camera, and you weren't allowed to take photographs. And I had my camera, I was just about to take a photograph with my cell phone, and the guy said, oh, you can't take photographs. Then he said, why don't you take the photograph with your mind? And I thought, how do you do that? And he said, visualize what you're seeing and put an emotion to it, and you'll remember it forever. And I promise you, that's exactly how it is. I still can remember every single detail of that event and the picture that I created because I actually did that. So very, very powerful tool. The next item is basically now calling to action. And I'm going to ask Wilhelm to talk about how do you actually put a call to action to yourself and put KPIs to what you have to do to achieve that. Over to you, Wilhelm.
Well, you know, David, from a life energy perspective, the big problem that we sit with, there can be a lack of energy. There can be disengagement in this group, or you can disengage yourself from the picture and the vision that you have. And that is what I like what Daniel actually said, to continuously reinforce that picture and continuously talk about it. It's very, very important. And then celebrate your progress. If there's progress made, celebrate it and move on and get support and support other people. It have much to do with personal leadership. You know, I find that's where it actually starts. If people are not okay with themselves, they are not okay with other people, they are not okay with life, they don't understand the power they have in themselves. So it's very important to get your personal leadership up to scratch. And then, of course, just to conclude, there are 5 very important ingredients in all this. The first one is your why, your reason, the why, the purpose. Why are you doing what you are doing? And then you need to believe in it. Need to believe in your own story. And if you believe it, the other people will start to believe it as well if you communicate it from an energetic point of view. And then visualize it. Keep it in your mind. Look at it. Play that video. See yourself within it. And make sure that you get the knowledge where needed. You need to get the knowledge. That's what Daniel said. Get other people to help you. And of course, with that, the support of other people and people within the group. The moment when you can do those things, your company will grow, you will reach your dreams, and anything is possible. But just get the energy to it.
Thank you so much. Wow. Today what we've done is shared some amazing gems, and we've got two experts here who actually coach this and help this with you, help your teams to actually grow and have that vision and understand what your goals are. So if you want to be like me and put some goals together and then actually go and do it, why don't you get hold of either Wilhelm or Daniel? Go and look at their LinkedIn pages. And what I'm going to ask them to do is both of them to do a post on the Vision 2024 LinkedIn page of what they do and to actually promote what they do. And then go and contact them. Go and get hold of them, find out what they do, and go and ask them for their help in order to help you achieve your vision for 2024. And that's what we're here to do, is to give you the tools, give you the ideas, and give you our expertise and experience to enable you to actually achieve what you want to achieve this year. So I'd like to really thank Wilhelm and Daniel for being here today, for sharing their expertise and their ideas and skills with regard to what they do. And I wish you a fantastic week. We'll be back next week, same time. Come and join us. So just thank you very much again, Wilhelm, Daniel, and have a fantastic week. And I'm going to play a little video. Watch it, because that's what this is all about, is actually helping you to achieve success this year. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Wilhelm. Cheerio.
Picture this. It's the dawn of 2024 and you're poised for success. Why? Because you've established your why. This isn't just a whim or a hobby. It's the passion that propels you forward, the core of your ambition. Next, you assess your current position. Where do you stand? What are your strengths, your weaknesses? Honesty is key here. Now, envisage your destination. What do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Set those goals. Make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. With your destination locked, it's time to map out your plan. Break down your goals into manageable steps, then start stepping. Remember, action without reflection is aimless. Record your results, analyze your performance, and adjust your plan accordingly. The path to success in 2024 isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Take meaningful action, keep your eye on the prize, and continually strive for improvement. Here's to a successful 2024.